I want to start with a little story because I was just spacing off, at home, relaxing, getting ready for this, and I had heard from Parker Ray that some of the family was going to be here, and so I imagined she has a son, Campbell, who's one of the cross-country runners that I coach, and so it got me wondering if there were going to be any runners that I coach here, because they would have never seen me in this context. And Campbell is the lone representative, it turns out. But anyway, the thought process that got going for me was when I was in college, when I was an undergrad in college, and I was a runner at a school in Iowa. In the summers, I would go live in Estes Park, Colorado, and we would so with some buddies so we could run at altitude. And one summer I was out there and I had my guitar. I just started playing guitar at that point in my life, and there was a gal that I had met in town, and she had a guitar, and it was before the internet. And so if you met someone that could show you how to do something, it was just super valuable. So we decided we were going to meet one day. And our rendezvous point was going to be at a little bar at a Mexican restaurant. So I got there first, and the guy who was the nightly performer at the Mexican restaurant, this old drunken cowboy dude named Sam, I think, he was there at, it was 4 o'clock. He was at the bar drinking, getting ready for his evening gig, in which the fan favorite was every night when he would play Puff the Magic Dragon. All of the kids would love it. And that's sort of in town, that's what he was really known for. So I was sitting there waiting for this gal to show up, and he said, "Hey, I see you got your guitar there. You a guitar player?" I said, "Well, a little bit. I'm just learning. I'm not very good." And he said, "Son, there ain't no such thing as being good or bad at what you do. You only you do what you do, and there ain't nothing nobody can say about it." He was into a whiskey and a beer, and I took this, but then his final words on the matter were, "And you can take that from me, because I used to be the Jimi Hendrix of Indiana." So I'm sitting there, in my recliner earlier today, kicking back and thinking about this memory, and I thought, God, I can't believe I have not written a song called the Jimi Hendrix of Indiana yet. That's an obvious one there.
Like a Rolling Stone.
So with that said, I'm going to start with one of my favorite old folk songs, and we'll get this rolling. Thanks again for coming out. Do we have guitar volume?
No, do you got your instrument up on its booster?
Oh, you know what? It's my fault. I'm not plugged in.
I have the opposite problem now.
Jimmy!
Jimmy Acoustic.
Jimmy! Indiana!
Oh, well, clearly, I'm not the Jimi Hendrix I've been on.
Well, he burned his guitar, so you're one step ahead of him.
For 17 long years, and I spent all of my money on the whiskey and beer, and I go to some hollow low sit real still. And if the whiskey don't kill me, then I don't know what will. I go to some bar and I drink with my friends, where the women they can't follow and see what I spend. God bless them, pretty women. Lord, I wish they was mine. With the breath of air, sweet the dew on the vine. Let me drink when I'm dry. $2 when I am hard. Religion when I die. Well, the whole world, it's a bottle in life. It's but a dram. And when the bottle gets empty, Lord, well, I sure ain't worth a damn. Thank you.
Hey Ben, pull back a little bit when you sing because you're getting a little pop.
I'm getting what?
A little puffy. Pop. You know, when you get too pop. Sorry.
So that was a traditional. Now I'm going to play one of mine. This is called Things Most Real. When you moved in here, there was somebody you didn't know, and they said they used to know you. I think it was a ghost. I thought I heard him whisper in a murmur real low. This time it would be different. This time we'd surely go and ride a train through Europe, hitchhike to Mexico, fall down and get buried in the deepest mountain snow. And through all the times that have come and gone, and the times we could have had, well, it's hard to say just when we'll have this chance again. We got a river for a backyard, a warm fire in the stove, kid who's home from college with 3 bags of dirty clothes, and a fluffy dog who doesn't mind that the roof is partly tarp. Someone throw that guy a chicken bone so the beavers don't make him bark. And there's Nashville on the TV, well, our nation's torn apart. It's gonna be okay though, 'cause we got loving in our hearts. Through all the times that have come and gone, and the times we could have had, well, it's hard to say just when we'll have this chance again. Well, my body's starting to fail me, babe, and my mind's already gone. We won't be here forever, but we'll always be the dawn. Sunshine in the morning, rising through the mist. When that light plays on the water, it's like the first time that we kissed. And we'll always be together, we'll always be right here. The things that are most real, they whisper, I love you, my dear. And through all the times that have come and gone, and the times we could have had, well, it's hard to say just when we'll have this chance again. When you moved in here, there was somebody you didn't know, and they said they used to know you. I think it was a ghost. Thank you. Kiana, what does a singer do when their mouth gets too dry in the
You
middle of
want
the
some
song?
water?
No, I've got some. I have like an expert here.
Well,
I'm just
I would say
wondering.
water was the first line of action, but
You just can't take a drink in the middle of the song.
no, I think that song, do a little movement, try to get the gland, the spit
Okay.
movement.
Whatever that puffy thing that my wife was talking about
Yeah.
was, I'm sure that.
It's like yoga.
Is it getting better?
I'm sure that was it.
Salvational ears.
Yeah.
I'm really here because of COVID. I started playing my guitar a lot in the fall of 2020, and by 2022 I was delusional enough to think that I should make an album. That album came out almost exactly 2 years ago, so I recorded it at home and distributed it to Spotify and all those people, like all myself at home. So this exploration of a whole new galaxy. And so it came out, and people I was related to, they all said, "Congratulations, Ben, you did it." But this next song I want to play, I have to blame it on my colleague Carl Whitkey, who I don't think is here. He was the first person who listened to that album and came to me and wanted to tell me what he thought of it. So there we were at work one morning, and it's like, "Yeah, good job, Ben. I listened to your album. That was great, a lot of fun. I learned something about you. I can tell that you're a poet too." And I thought, "Oh, this is really going good." And if you don't know Carl, like he's the kind of guy, like while he's like putting the screwdrivers on the shelf, like He's like, dancing around sometimes if he likes the song. And then he said, but I tell you what, there were some times when it could use some zip. And our conversation did not go on very much longer. And he probably thought, I didn't want to talk to him anymore. The truth is that in that moment, a new song started playing through my mind, and that's what I'm going to play right now. This is called Bump and Grind, and I'm just sad that Carl's not here for this. Well, I don't care if you shake your booty. I don't care if you tap your toe. It don't matter if you jump and shout, 'cause that ain't what this is all about. Well, you might make a movie, they might make a show, but I know where I'm gonna go. There's a whole new world coming round the bend, a new place to be for all us women and men, and it might make you dance, it might make you move, but this ain't about that kind of groove. Well, everything's changing, our lives, the earth. Let go with the flow and see what it's worth. Yeah, the new day coming, gonna light up your mind, make your heart and soul do the bump and grind. Sunshine in the air and a gentle breeze. The new day coming, it ain't gonna say please. We got the ins with the outs and the ups with the downs, the old with the new, and some smiles with the frowns. And whether your sky is gray or your sky is blue, things are coming together for me and you. So it don't matter if you jump and shout, 'cause that ain't what this is all about. And I don't care if you shake your booty, I don't care if you tap your toe. They might make a movie, they might make a show, I know where I'm gonna go. So thank you. All right. I'm gonna play a Montpelier song. About my former favorite guitar shop. had this classic guitar shop in my hometown. Yeah, it was right there on Main Street as you're headed down to the local supermarket or maybe to the other end of the strip. Yeah, I want some booze because you need to get lit. It was just kind of nonchalantly right there, as if it could be a diner or a place to cut your hair. You'd walk inside, there'd be basses and bongos, some dude on a stool doing some grooving, and this friendly fella named Kevin would always ask, "Hey man, how you doing?" And then the other day, I was out walking my dog. I see this sign in the window that makes my face go pale. And I didn't know how to break it to you gentle, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. That sign had said, retirement cell. Oh, Guitar Sam, Guitar Sam, Guitar Sam is closing down. Kevin, he ain't gonna be around no more. 'Cause Montpelier's Main Street music shop is closing up its doors. So now what do you do if you bust a stick, you break your strings, or you just need to pick up a thing or two, or you want to go downtown, hang out and have some kicks? Maybe your truss rod and need a little adjustment. Your reverb effect, it needs some investment. Your tuner's broke, your capo's bent, you just got paid. And it needs to get spent. Yeah, Kevin's been around longer than I've even been playing guitar. And now where am I supposed to find him? At the movies? Boiling his ham bone? Taking a nap? Down at the bar? Oh, Guitar Sam, Guitar Sam, Guitar Sam is a closing down. And Kevin, he ain't gonna be around no more. 'Cause Montpelier's Main Street, a music shop is closing up its doors. More than a pack of strings. Kevin's got all kinds of things. A children's tambourine, I bought one of those. Harmonica, I bought one of those. A microphone, a clean boost pedal, an amplifier, little fingertip picks made out of metal. Whew. I mean, if that's not enough to make you say, wow, well, Kevin even sold me this guitar I'm playing right now. Guitar Sam is a closing down, and Kevin, he ain't gonna be around no more. 'Cause Montpelier's Main Street, a music shop is closing up its doors. Uses the original glue that comes in the red label bottle, and he'll build you a uke that you can play full throttle. Says he's going out of business because it's time to retire, but I'm not sure I buy it. It's a little suspicious. I mean, who's this Sam guy anyway? How can we be sure that Kevin didn't simply get fired? Oh, Guitar Sam is the closing down. Kevin, he ain't gonna be around no more. 'Cause Montpelier's Main Street music shop done close up its doors. Thank you. I helped my family get me this bad boy for Christmas. So maybe I want to invite some more of the band in here. When I was in college, I took a class where I studied Dostoevsky. And it was not one of those classes where you read like a novel and then you write a paper saying, trying to analyze what it was about. It was more about trying to understand the sort of biographical background of a great author. So I read a book and I read some essays and I read a biography. And then 15 years went by and Amanda and I were shacking up in a barn outside of Chelsea where our child Kale was born. So there we are, a little kid. And one day I was just thinking about that class I took on Dostoevsky. And I recalled how he had been sent to a Siberian prison camp and marched out in front of a firing squad and lined up with some guys and, dudes on horses pointing their guns at him. And then at the last second, someone rode up and said, no, wait, no, we're not going to shoot these dudes. And I thought, well, that's a fascinating, I should try to write a song about that. So there it was, like 20 years ago, I wrote this song. So when COVID started, I had been carrying that around with me for 20 years. So that song is another reason why I'm even doing all this, because I always needed to get back to the point where that song could be finished. And so this is called Roulette. The subtitle of this song is An Autobiography of Dostoevsky, because by the time I wrote this stuff down, I really didn't even know what was accurate anymore. It might have been about me, or it might have been about somebody else. Well, they shook me up one morning and marched me out for the firing squad. Yeah, they wrapped my head in greasy rags and lined me up with the poet mob. And the soldiers all raised their rifles, the hammers all cocked and clicked. And one man cried and one man coughed as the captain, he raised his fist. And I heard the gallop of a horse coming up along with the dawn. And the Siberian voice that uttered, command, command, come down from the top. Well, I dreamed that horses whipping death, and I left my landlady lay. And I walked in tatters across that bridge, staring down another suicide day. Put a tuxedo on in Switzerland, where they turned my rubles to francs. I had my woman by my side, my breath like whiskey stain. She had written on all through the night and captured my every word. But by candlelight, it wouldn't be enough, 'cause bad luck it seems it never turns. So I played a hand of poker with nothing left to lose but time. And I lost that hand to the government, and they sent me to Siberia to suffer my crimes and try to slice my soul and drown me with the demon brothers in the flood. But a polar bear will never leave you when you're buried in your own mud. So we ate their crabs and we drank red wine and we played roulette, but not the Russian kind. And I've become a sick, sick man, a much better kind of mind. They shake me up every morning, march me out for the firing squad, and wrap my head in greasy rags and line me up with a poet mom. The soldiers all raise their rifles and the hammers all cocked and clicked, and one man cried and one man coughed. Captain, he raised his fist, and I heard the gallop of a horse coming up along with the dawn. Then the voice of Jesus Christ yelled, "Stop!" Word. Yeah, the word comes down from God. I started to get spit in my voice.
I like that. It makes you sound smart. You're getting salvation.
Well, you know better. Hey. I got a new guitar recently. That's why I switched to the other guitar. Get a little different sound going on.
Look how pretty it is. Now you're Jimmy.
All right, so I'm going to take a break from things that I wrote and go back to some traditional folk music. Years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed beneath the town hall lights. And the few who were there, they all agreed that the slayer who ran looked a lot like me. And she walks these hills in a long black veil. She whispers my name as the night winds wail. Nobody knows and nobody sees, and nobody knows but me. Well, the scaffold was high and the eternity near. She stood in the crowd and she shed not a tear. And sometimes at night when the cold, cold winds moan, she stands over my grave and she weeps over my bones. And she walks these hills in a long black veil. She whispers my name as the night winds wail. Nobody knows and nobody sees. Nobody knows but me. Judge, he said, son, what's your alibi? If you were somewhere else, then you won't have to die. I spoke not a word, although it meant my life, 'cause I'd been in the arms of my best friend's wife. And she walks these hills in a long black veil, and she whispers my name as the night winds wail. Nobody knows and nobody sees. Yeah, nobody knows but me.
Hey Ben, would you check if your boost is on for your guitar?
It is. Oh no. You know what? The whole thing, I thought that sounded quiet. The whole
Yeah.
thing was turned off.
It's true.
I thought it sounded good too, but.
There we go.
It was supposed to be like that.
Yeah. Sorry.
I thought it sounded good.
Well, all right. Hey, we'll get back to this one. I'm going to switch to the other guitar. Okay, so in the the winter and early 2021, I was taking up my COVID lockdown time by playing my guitar more. My wife says, "No, as long as you're spending so much time doing that, you might as well try writing some songs." So I started thinking about that, and I'll play one in a little bit that was inspired by working at the hardware store, because it's a very inspiring place. You can't sell a lot of caulk without one song about it. We'll get to that. But so, I started to think about these basic songwriting challenges, and I come home from work one day, and they're on the whiteboard where we keep our family schedules in the living room. Of course, nobody had anything going on, so it was clear. So my wife had wrote this quote on there that said, "Better to murder an infant in its cradle than to nurse unacted desires." It was a quote from William Blake. She had apparently read it that day.
I just love it.
And I read that, and I thought, that is just the weirdest freaking thing to say. Yeah, and I kept thinking about it. I thought, I have to write a song and deal with this. Not to say what this means, but just like the song is going to be like my own struggle with this weird quote that's on the wall in the living room. So this is what came out. It's called Unmet Desire.
love song.
Okay. I think I'm turned on.
I'm not getting a lot from it. You got another? Oh, there we go, that's better.
Who knows how many songs I played with that turned on?
Just that one.
Okay. Bloody babies in the bathroom, a bag of ashes on the porch, those dirty dishes in the kitchen. Oh, but I don't live here anymore. Unfinished paintings hanging dry, a box of worms down in the basement. The wind is blowing off the roof. Ah, but I don't live here anymore. You came to see me just the other day, surprised me downtown at work, all bundled up against the bitter cold, and all I could see was the magic sparkle in your eyes. Felt the warm caresses of your words. My chest was filled with sweet sensations. And then you walked back out of that door. The dog is begging for attention. A log lies smoking in the hearth. The mice are eating through the walls. Oh, but I don't live here anymore. And empty beer cans line the stairs. The world is hanging upside down. The floor's become a bed of nails. Oh, but I don't live here anymore. You came to see me just the other day, surprised me downtown at work, all bundled up against the bitter cold, and all I could see was the magic sparkle in your eyes. I felt the warm caresses of your words. My chest was filled with sweet sensations. And then you walked back out of that door. The salt is flowing into the creek, and fossil fuels fill the air. A carcass scattered on the ice. Ah, but you just walked in that door. And bloody babies in the bathroom, a bag of ashes on the porch. These verses written in the living room, 'cause that's what the light is for. How about can I play like one more and then we take a little break?
Sure.
Does that seem okay? Because I haven't done one yet where I bring in absolutely every member of the band. You're all like, oh my God. No.
Wait, is this the cop song?
You know, if you just sit there for like 10 more seconds, you're gonna find out.
I see.
Hair cut short and your feet shaved clean. You're lost in the night and found in a dream. Dangling pendulum, spinning for the answers. My chest pounds hard on the mattress upstairs. Sedated by killers in a room with a portal, a vortex unchained for a marriage of immortals. Child set free on the streets of the desert. A mail order bed arrives well measured, and she's cracked open eggs. Oh, I screwed up. Don't know my name, but I see you and we share a life and a place to come home to. She seemed to know exactly what's happening. Hammered on gin, screwed in anomaly. Her flesh open easy for homeless donation. Get your sweatshirt clogged on down at the station. In the next crane, looking to feed her from a high-flying mom who's searching and revealing. And you don't know my name, but I see you and we share a life and a place to come home to. These decisions we make, these turns that we take, sign on the line and you won't have to think. A body of choirs that rings in the night, up from Virginia with a finely tuned flight. And it binds up your hands and it grinds in your soul till a late drunken car ride is the only way to go. And you don't know my name, but I see you and we share a life and a place to come home to. Well, you head up to the cabin and you visit with a ghost, evading your past just to see where it goes. The car won't run over, stops and it starts. Two dogs panting wine just to play in their part. And there's no medication that will cure how you feel. The next thing you know, you're naked in a field. And you don't know my name, but I see you and we share a life and a place to come home to. Well, you call for help, but insurance has rates, and it's not covered. No, maybe hold on, just wait. But the sun's just set, and the rain's pouring down. Warm lights are glowing on the dim edge of town, and voices from the past carry out on the river, run up your spine where they tingle and shiver. And she's cracked open eggs in my personal space. She's the dancing girl who comes and changes this place. And she seemed to know exactly what had happened. Hammered on gin and screwed in an omelet. You don't know my name, but I see you and we share a life and a place to come home to. Oh, thank you. Maybe we take a couple minutes here, refresh the fingers.
That was so chipper.
Thank you. Oh, because one shoe feels better on that, and one feels better on that. No, because they're closed now.
Is he the one who's married?
Yeah, long live naive melody. I should have said that, because they're awesome. I love that play. In 40 years, I'm going to write a song about naive melody.
Oh.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting the hobby.
Oh. Wait, but killed the cat at the store? Or no. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Bob, how are you doing? Good to see you here. You look like you're changing clothes.
Yes.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
made
no,
it.
because that has happened.
Are you enjoying it? I'm going to do better the second half. Okay? Yeah, right.
And they came as kids.
Mine for the bathroom.
And actually, he still loves dogs, but he like went, because you know how, because dogs think that kids are little friends of other kids. And now Yeah, yeah.
What's that?
So, you know, I was trying to get rid of the dog's ashes, and I was calling around.
Wait, they had the kills? The kills? Oh, the cat, oh, okay. Why can't they just bury the cat?
So I said,
Just
I have a dog
Yeah.
that the vet had put down in Bonji dead.
Yeah.
The vet offered me a freezer.
Yeah.
And I put it
Yeah.
in the vet called.
Yeah.
They were sprayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took the dog, wrapped it up like,
Yeah.
drove to New York.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Oh, yeah, no,
I thought about what we were doing.
yeah, no, it's good. And our dog got bit by a car, not right in our house. And we rolled through and the rest of the whole place. But it's a lot.
Yeah. I think everybody needs to chip in a little.
Yeah.
Because it's 55. If you didn't want the ashes, and 100%.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't have that. That's a weird story. He's ridiculously good. I don't know how he grew up.
We've seen him play.
Yeah.
And he looks like his shoulders.
Well, yeah, well,
Back
it's,
in
yeah.
ultimate.
Well, yeah, this was the first, so this year was the first year he got to play really college. Or last summer, whatever. But, yeah, so he's been actually playing quite a bit. No.
Is this before the tricks in North Carolina?
No, they have also, no, it was in North, so I actually went down to, Knoxville, Tennessee, and they played really well there. Tampa, they usually don't do very well in Tampa, that's the first one of the season, just because they don't get, they don't, that hot going from whatever. But then in Knoxville, they did quite well, and I went up from 8th point, they did really well. But they keep losing on uni. Yeah, they do. So everything's in the south because it's warmer. Right. So I was like, why can't they come here? But but then the North Carolina trip, they keep losing on Universal Point, which is so that's the last point, whatever. So it's the last.
It's always tied going to the last point, but then they don't get the point.
And they don't have.
The winner of the last point.
Because once it's a soft
Only
guy.
because the game's always tied. Like they keep getting in a situation where
And
the
if
time
they do
runs
the-
out, the game is tied, and so
Yeah.
whoever scores the next
Yes,
one.
so once a time, and
And they always lose.
yeah. So that is, so it's strange though, they don't have, like their, whatever, their standings of how many wins and losses, but since they've played well, it's really hard to lose, and they keep losing on that, they do, it's like
They're
this
weighted
movement.
high.
But still, they're in the Eastern Conference that they're in is really hard, so we'll see. The next one is in May. I mean, the one in Providence isn't worth anything.
So do they have a game every week?
No, it's only tournaments.
Oh.
They only do tournaments.
They travel.
Yeah, so they only have,
They come back to Vermont and then go to the next.
yes, but they drive, so, I mean, Florida,
Wow.
well, they all get, so they leave Thursday at 5 o'clock. They drive through the night. They rent vans and, like that, I don't even.
Play Friday.
No, they play Saturday, they play 4 games on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. Right after the last game, they get in the van and drive back.
See, this is because they're 20. Oh my gosh. We would make
No.
it one.
No, I know, but yeah, no, but still, it is still kind of hard,
No,
but,
it is
but
definitely
yeah,
hard,
but they
they're
are-
20, and
yeah,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
like, they're
Yeah.
just energized.
Yeah,
off
yeah,
their
yeah.
youth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's probably not ideal.
No, but they have, I mean, it's still fun.
They
Right. They are. They are. And the thing is that like they're
everyone's
because,
flying.
you know, it's like even though there's Division 1, it's still it's not a varsity school. It's called a. I don't even know. But so the only time they get the field is their practices from like 9 o'clock at night. So it's late. So anyway, but they have a lot of super students, like freshmen who are coming. A lot of people want to come, even from Seattle, which is like a scene. So they have a super like a dominant freshman. Amazing. But like their coach Pitt, who's like very good. It's like it's just weird. They just don't have the fight. They don't have that. Like they don't. So. But
What's he doing in
school.
He's
Done.
what is he studying?
No, he's done.
Statistics.
Yeah.
Right? That sounds like a fun stuff.
He loves it. He does really love it. It's like 3 points.
This is, I think this is now, I've never played a musical gig in my life before I was 50 years old. I think this is now official, by my official account, my 12th one, where I've played, in a venue for at least an hour. But I was just talking to Kiana, like, why was I so nervous that like my mouth was totally dry when I was starting out there? And I realized in talking to her, like if I'm at Charlie O's and the kids are playing pool and the guys at the bar are swilling their liquor, like, and I screw something up, I recall now, like I will say to myself, well, that was great because nobody knew that was happening. But I realize now here, like there are, even though like you're like almost all friends of mine, like you're all like, I'm like, oh my God, they knew. Crap. I can't get away with anything anyway. So thank you for being so understanding. All right, so got to get to the hardware music. Well, the ladies all come and ask me, where can I get some caulk? So I take them down to aisle 16 and say, let's see what we've got in stock. Come in all kind of shape and sizes, from massive down to a toothpaste tube. Well, one thing we ain't got is a tiny caulk, like the size of a mini super glue. Oh, sure, we've got invisible caulk, but that ain't due to size. It's all about matching colors when you want to keep your caulk in disguise. White and brown are quite common. We've also got beige and gray. A lot of ladies know just what they want, and others ask how much I gotta pay. Well, that ain't really a matter of color. No, that's more about intended use. Some caulks are inside, some's for out, and some's real sticky, just in case shit's getting loose. There's caulk for in the kitchen, and caulk for around the bath. Sometimes you gotta do the windows and the doors. Out there along the garden path. the matter of how do I squeeze out and apply this goo. Well, isn't that something that I could have you come over and do? That's when I tell them they got to get a gun. That's when they all frown and groan. Well, look, ma'am, I tell you what I mean. Really? It all depends on what you got at home. Well, thank God them filthy, dirty working men, they pass right on by and know what they need. Because them middle-aged ladies who are coming for a car, they are always there talking to me. And it's true you use caulking to caulk and caulk to do your caulking. But when it comes to discussing the matter with a hardware man, well, you best be careful just how you're talking. Thank you.
That's your ladies' song.
We'll talk about that later. One of my favorite contemporary American songwriters is a fella named Joe West, who lives just south of Santa Fe. Santa Fe is where Amanda and I met, so somebody we used to go see. I'm gonna play one of his songs here. This is called Are You Still My Girl? Are you the rain that falls from my eyes? Are you one more of my little life? And are you leaving me a little room to fail? Are you there at the end of this long cattle trail? Are you still my girl? Are you still my world? Does the thought of a kiss bring you happiness? Are you still my girl? They say that the captain, he was unfit to sail. The ship had went down, and the sailors all bailed. And me, I stood smiling, holding on to the rope. I knew you'd come through, I never lost hope. Are you still my girl? Are you still my world? Does the thought of a kiss bring you happiness? Are you still my girl? And am I your poet? Am I your clown? Do I dance in your dreams when you lay your head down? And are you the one at the tip of my tongue when there's something to say? Are you a phone call away? Are you still my girl? Are you still my girl? Are you still my world? Does the thought of a kiss bring you happiness? Are you still my girl? All right, let's go old folk song interlude here. Well, the cuckoo, she's the pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies. Yeah, she brings us glad tidings, and she'll tell us no lie. Jack of diamonds, Jack of diamonds. Well, I knowed you of old. Rob my pockets of their silver and their gold. Well, for working, I'm too lazy. So for begging, that's too slow. The train robbing, that's too dangerous. So to gambling did I go. Well, I gambled down in England, and I gambled down in Spain, and it never got me nothing except this feel good and this shame. I'm headed up on 10 Killer Mountain. I'm gonna build me a still, and I sell you 5 gallons for just a $2 bill. Well, it's bacon when I'm hungry, and it's a whiskey when I'm dry. It's my lady for my loving, and it's religion when I die. Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies. Yeah, she brings us glad tidings on the 4th day of July. Thank you. The next two, I'm going to play the next song on this guitar and then switch to that guitar. The next two songs are kind of like a set. And that the first one sets off, ultimately gets to a dog walk, and it ends as we enter Hubbard Park. And then the second song is all about the particular experience of being in Hubbard Park. In late 2023, after the flood, I don't know if anybody noticed, but it was crazy up there. It was just glowing green. At least it was to me. And that's what that second song ultimately was inspired by, the glowing green. But anyway. I'm gonna play one and then switch guitars. Now you know what's coming at you. This is called Moving on My Own. Will I wake up in the morning? Sorry. I'm going to start that over because I didn't have it. It's called Moving on My Own. Well, I wake up in the morning, feeling around for my shoes, but this ain't that same old song about the walking blues. Well, I start with cereal and toast. Well, I read the morning news. Stocks are down, diseases up, and half the teams did lose. And somewhere between black coffee and that shower scalding steam, well, I get a grip, I come to life, and sunshine lights my dream. And I head on out that door, I walk on down the road. Nothing makes me happier than moving on my own. Yeah, I head on out that door, I walk on down the road. Nothing makes me happier than moving on my own. Well, I've never been a car guy. No, I just ain't into gas. My boat's afloat on blood and bone, and it doesn't move too fast. And sometimes when I'm in a hurry, well, I do kind of like to bike. Yeah, rounding corners, shifting gears, and pedaling with might. And I've been known to take a swim, or pick up the pace and run. But as far as I'm concerned, a hike is always the most fun. That's why I head on out that door, I walk on down the road. Nothing makes me happier than moving on my own. Yeah, I head on out that door, I walk on down the road. Nothing makes me happier than moving on my own. Carlos, he likes taking walks even better than chewing bones. Yeah, we head out in the neighborhood, and we stop and pee on trees, eye a squirrel, scout a cat, and chase a few blown leaves. And then it's up into the woods, on the trails and off the leash, and that's where he and I can finally be completely free. And we head on out that door, we walk on down the road. Nothing makes us happier than moving on our own. Yeah, we head on out that door, we walk on down the road. Nothing makes us happier than moving on our own. Here, boy. It was hard for me to hold it together during the peeing on trees line because Jen and John are out there and I walk by their house all the time.
I was more afraid Balto was going to be in your song.
Balto's good, it's the dog across the street that they don't get along. Bruce got
Okay, Kiana, we
All right.
have switched guitars.
All right, let's hear it.
Pedals are on.
Okay.
All right. That's what our volume level is like, just in case that helps. This one is called Viridescent Fa. Walking in the woods, I see a lichen-covered log, glowing mossy rocks in a viridescent fog. For the world it does seem shimmering, like in a storybook, and every shade of life is growing anywhere I look. Now the earth is going green, and it's too late to ignore, with everything that's happening right outside our door. With the forest fires raging, and the smoke that fills the air, a hurricane approaches, bringing more despair. And as people flee the flooding banks and the seaweed-covered beach, well, the days of yore with cooler climes, they're seeming out of reach. And now the earth is going green, and the beauty's all right here, in the sun and in the rain, in the clearing with the deer. Well, congressmen, they bicker about uniforms and war, and billionaires amass their wealth, bolt their gates and lock their doors. Some have said our only hope is escape into the stars, so we can package up our packaging and dump a load on Mars. Apparently there is no way the trees and rocks and streams, eagles, bears, and turtles can survive human greed. So the earth is going green, and she don't use no plastic bags. She don't burn no gasoline, and she don't wave no flags. Mother Earth is going green, and she don't use no plastic bags. No, she don't burn no gasoline, and she don't wave no flags. did seem shimmering, like in a storybook. Every shade of life was growing anywhere I looked. And now the earth is golden green. Yeah, it's too hard to ignore. With everything that's happening right outside our door. Yeah, the earth is golden green. It's too hard to ignore. And if you listen real close, you'll hear her knocking, knocking at your door. Kiana, when we were setting up, I warned you that there is one thing that I do that gets kind of loud.
Okay.
That's this one.
The next one or the last one?
No, the one thing I'm about to do.
Excellent.
This is an adaptation of a Ray Wiley Hubbard song. I've turned it into a juke joint talking blues. From Oklahoma with a pistol in my boot, paradise, a deck of cards, and a Bible in my suit. I come here as a cause of tears because I'm a crying shame. 7 stud or eternal blood, I'm just looking for the game. Double-cross the state of Texas and they give me a little time. Taught myself to double cut the cards and hold the scriptures in my mind. And I learned to love the tumbling dice and to believe the word. Tombstones and rolling bones, it beats anything I ever heard. Patience is a virtue that I surely possess, and I can't deny that heaven lies beneath a cotton dress, and how small a part of time we share till we hear the sound of wings, and I'm lost in the dust, the chase that my life brings. Through God's green pastures and seen the rich blue skies. I've seen the fall of man and the kingdom hidden from their eyes. And I've heard the roar of thunder and I've felt the lightning bolt. And when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take along my Samuel Gold. The cards and I hold them to my breast. I see the King of Hearts and I know that I am blessed. And though my eyes are blind sometimes, well, I know there's something there. And the time's at hand and I kill a man while I say a little prayer. pistol in my boot, paradise, a deck of cards, and a Bible in my suit. And I come here as a cause of tears, so I'm a crying shame. 7 stud or eternal blood, I'm just looking for the game. But how small a part of time we share, we hear the sound of wings, and I'm lost in the dust, and the chase that my life brings.
Ray would be proud, really.
Thank you. Let's see. I'm gonna do another new one. Let's see here.
It's about 8:45.
Okay. So
Am I right?
I haven't kept anyone overtime yet or anything. Okay.
I think so.
The very first time I was granted the opportunity to play a music gig, it was at Charlie's. And that was about 3 years ago. And, you know, that was whole unexplored territory for me. So the guy that I was working with at the time, a fellow named Henry, a couple of paint specialists ago, I'm sure many of you remember Henry. He said to me, well, so what kind of music do you play? And I said, you know, stuff about like whiskey, trains, and mines. So when I took note of that, when I made a little poster for the Charlie's gig, I just put, didn't matter if it said my name because I didn't mean anything. I just put whiskey, trains, mines. That was what the show was going to be. But I thought at the time, well, you know, someday I just have to, never minding this silly business of calling the show Whiskey, Trains, Mines, I just need to write a song called that. So I did, and this is Whiskey, Trains, Mines. Kiana, we switched guitars, are we all good on?
You might need to do that glowing pink light thing.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
don't know. What's that? There you go.
Okay. Well, you stare off in the distance, and one step leads to two. You know just where you're going, but the night ain't got no moon. And the road that led ahead, well, it comes to a dead end. So you slip down in the ditch, take to the trees instead. And a thick mist fills the air. You might as well be blind. There's only one way this can go, and that's to Whiskey, Trains, Mines. And it all comes together in your life once again. And And just like every time you seek redemption for your sins, whiskey trains minds, sweet melon on the Rhine. You've come too far to turn around. Now whiskey trains minds. You walk into a bar after wandering afar. A stranger holds the key and a yearning starts to breathe, flowing over your soul and it brings you to your knees. Longing takes a hold and the moon you finally see. She sits there in the corner writing something knows the way. True north is your guide and it's always in its place. And the old man in the paisley shirt, he's drinking back his wine and singing, a cowgirl rides her horse and whiskey trains minds. And it all comes together in your life once again. And just like every time you seek redemption for your sins, a whiskey trains minds, the dew forms on the vine. You've come too far to turn around, now whiskey trains minds. Well, this time you leave together, just like you always did. Walking dirty desert streets, she verifies the kiss. And then it's down into a dungeon where the journey's end begins. The moon shines turning blue in the darkness and in bliss. And something knows the way, but the banjo's out of tune. The cowgirl rides her horse, and the moon shines turning blue. Whiskey trains minds, outlaw stealing time. Show know where you're going, you ain't got no thought to mind. Whiskey trains minds, pistols drawn lines. You're gonna find your destination or your shores well dark. Whiskey trains minds, squeezing out the lines. One last peaceful place to forget about your crimes. And it all comes together in your life once again. And just like every time you seek redemption for your sins, the whiskey trains minds, the clothes hang on the line. You've come too far to turn around, now whiskey trains minds.
Yeah,
And then let me throw out one more song to close out the night after that.
Yeah.
Is that good?
yeah.
Okay, great. I wanted to say thank you to everyone for coming, and I wanted to say thank you to Bonji here for filming. It's so wonderful to host local artists and to showcase them, so thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for coming to support us. If you don't know about the Montpelier Performing Arts Hub and you'd like to know more, please check us out online and join our newsletter. We like to share what's coming up next and also share where we're going and what we're trying to do here. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you, and I hope you have a lovely night. And one more applause for Bonji and his final song, and we're going to call it a night. Thank you.
Okay, cool, thank you. Super amazing thanks to Kiana for letting me play here. Wow, this is, as you all can probably tell, this is like an amazing learning experience for me. Thank you all for coming, both for supporting the Hub and for supporting me. This amazing, super thank you. Thank you. Now, one thing did happen tonight where I played a song that I really like to play, and I didn't turn the guitar on. I'm not going to play that song, but that was one of my little, like, I'm going to play an old folk song on the resonator moments. So I'm gonna finish by going back there and doing an old folk song on the resonator. And, I'm sure you all recognize this one. All right. You guys, I'm totally fried.
Sounds great though.
You think so? Okay, I'm gonna finish. I just got totally off track there.